You know,
What's going on, man?
I'm a little
Frank
disappointed.
Starfire.
Nice to meet you.
And, I'm a simple
Welcome
guy,
back
and
to
I
the world
live
of
my
Frank
life by really
Starfire.
simple means, you know what I mean?
It's an
And,
amazing
I live by
place.
simple mottos and credos
You
and
know,
phrases and everything
place
because
with
it works for me, you know what I mean?
wonderful
Lately,
cactus.
I've adopted a new
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Frank Starfire. This here is the Just to Be Frank podcast. I want to thank you ever so much for joining me. I am going to have a guest today by the name of Ayanna Davis. You can find her on social media as Phenomenally Autistic Show. And of course, as ever, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that little bell so you can get notified for when I drop new content, and share the living shit out of this right here, especially if you like what you hear, or even if you don't, just to prove to people that I'm an asshole. I'm okay with that. Either way. Thank you so much for joining me. What's going on in the news, man? Listen, so as usual, people in politics are being fucking morons. I don't know why we're surprised by this. It's just a natural occurrence at this point. You know, I hate to touch on that. Fuck that shit. But yo, matter of fact, here's something that's important. August 3rd, 3 days before your boy's birthday, August 6th, you know what I'm saying? We got the Locks and Dipset going down on the verses, so I'm very excited for that shit. LOX is one of my favorite motherfucking groups of all time, even though I can say I was not a fan of the album Money, Power, and Respect. It's just a personal preference. Didn't really like the album, but that's not to say they didn't go hard on it. It's not to say they bars went heavy even then. Just not the sound I wanted from them. I could tell even then, not the right sound. And of course, I mean, shout out to Dipset, you know what I'm saying? Cam, Jewels, Jim Jones, Capo status, you know what I'm saying? This is going to be an epic battle. Already, Styles P and Jimmy is trolling each other like a motherfucker. And so that's kind of making it really, really interesting to see. And I'm excited for this one. What else is going on in our world, man? Listen, we just finished up the NBA Finals. I'll be recording an episode dedicated to this past NBA season in a couple days, but needless to say, nobody expected Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks to become the champions. And you know what? They proved everybody wrong. So go fuck yourselves because they did. Shout out to Chris Paul. I really want to CP3 to get that ring. He might never ever get that ring now, which is a sad state of affairs. Sorry for that. Nothing we can do about that. It's your own fault, buddy. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, y'all played your hearts out. Shout out to the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks for making it all the way to the finals and going through, but the Bucks beat them. Handed them that ass, man. 1-6. So not exactly mad. And of course, you know, as a Knicks fan, wait till next year, I guess. Fuck, man. Like, what the fuck am I doing? If you hadn't seen, I recently had a video up with my boy Mike Jones, which was very interesting. We discussed religion and different aspects of that and how much we abhor it. And, you know, if you haven't seen it, there's a link right here at the top there. It'll be right there. You go back and watch that. You should enjoy that. If not, I don't really care. I want you to enjoy it. I want you to watch the shit. But the truth is, if you don't enjoy it, it's really nothing I can do about that. It's not really my concern. My concern is just putting out the best content imaginable. So that's what I'm here for. It's your boy Frank Starfire, man. What else have we got going on in the world? Oh, and you know what? Recently I've been calling into question this very stereotypical idea and concept of thought that anything that's not hood related is white people shit. So for example, kayaking, hang gliding, skydiving, all that type of shit, man. We gotta stop limiting ourselves in our community to the base things, going clubbing. Like why are you traveling to other countries just to go to the club? You can go to the club anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You can go to the club in your hometown. You know what I mean? So why are you going to go traveling all over the world just to fucking go party? Nah, man, go out there and get on a zip line, man. Go swim with the dolphins. Go wrestle some alligators. Don't wrestle alligators. That's stupid. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Don't tell them Frank Starfire told you to go do that, because that's dumb. Don't do that. Like, what are we doing? Don't go do that. I don't know. People are dumb. They're going to do that. So I just let them. It's fine. I know the eye is fucked up. It's me, baby. What the fuck, man? Don't look at that one. Look at this one. Assholes. But either way, no. It's your boy Frank Starfire. This here is the Just to Be Frank podcast. We're about to have Ayanna Davis join us. She's a fantastic book author and children's book author, I should say, and a illustrator as well. She's illustrated 17 children's books, some calendars, and I think some coloring books as well, man. Like she's a phenomenal force, man, which is why her handle on every social media is Phenomenally Autistic. So shout out to her, man. We're doing that. Yeah, that's about it, man. Listen, it's your boy Frank Starfire. It's the Just to Be Frank podcast. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna bring Ayanna in, and we're going to go on with the interview. But as ever, I want to thank you so much for joining me again. Hit the like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. The subscriber contest that I put up, it's still going on. Send me all those positive people that you know are making a difference in the world. I want to hear from them. I want to talk to these people. I want to put them out there so that everybody knows how cool they are and how awesome they are in this world. So bring it to me, you know what I'm saying? And beyond that, again, thanks you for joining me on the Just to Be Frank podcast. We'll be right back with Ayanna Davis. It's your boy Frank Starfire. Well, thank you, computer. And thank you all for joining me. Of course, I'm Frank Starfire, and this here is the Just to Be Frank podcast. I want to thank you ever so much for joining me. Today, I have children's author, illustrator. Apparently, she's also a children's fashion model director. I mean, you got a lot going on, Ayanna. Ayanna Davis, everybody. Give it up for her. And the one thing I left out, because I don't want that to be the defining thing, but you are indeed autistic.
Yes.
Okay. I'm 38 years old. As I told you when I invited you on, I have a 20-year-old. She's a nonverbal autistic goddaughter, right? And in my age, I guess, and in my time, we never really learned what autism was. We didn't really get, because I don't know if anybody knows. Is there any sort of idea as to what it is or what causes it?
It's a neurological disorder, so it can be caused by many things. Vaccines, however, do not cause autism. I know people are always like, "Well, vaccines, you're autistic because vaccines do not cause autism," but it is in fact a neurological disorder. Different people may develop it while you're born with it for different reasons. Sometimes it's genetics and it runs in the family. And, sometimes it's just a disorder that you're born with.
I always wondered, is there any possibility of like external advancement of it, like something in the chemicals in the food or what have you? Because I like I said, I'm 38 years old and I don't remember a time when there have been as many people as I guess you'd say on the spectrum, as they say, in that regard.
They've always been on the spectrum, but most people haven't been diagnosed. A lot of people, there is a stigma about people with autism. So a lot of people, they might feel that they are, but they don't want to come to terms with it, so they never go and they never get a diagnosis. So it's not that there are more people with autism now, it's just that there are more confirmed diagnosed cases of it. I personally, because I'm not an expert, I don't think it has anything to do with like like your food, the foods that you eat and stuff like that, because, you know, babies are fed formula. So the same babies fed the same formula, one has autism. I don't believe that.
Right.
I don't believe that.
I mean, I don't know if I believe it. It's just something that I wonder. You know, I know that breastfeeding tends to be the safest alternative for feeding a baby, but when that's not possible, you'll use formula or, you know, what have you. And, you know, we've come a long way, I guess, in recent years in diagnosing it. I understand that you went undiagnosed. Now, I'm about to ask you a question, and if lightning strikes or you see a purse come flying at me from the heavens, that's my mom attacking me for asking you this question. How old are you?
Oh, I don't answer that question.
Okay,
but if
fair
you
enough.
but if you guess, I'll tell you.
All right. All right. See, no, I ain't gonna play that game because I'm gonna sit here and guess like
okay.
I'm gonna say mid-20s because my mama taught me how to have manners and be flattering.
We can take that.
Cool.
We can take that, but I'm going to tell you why I don't answer that question.
Okay.
I don't answer that question because I don't want to deal with the ignorance of people, because I do have like delays. So I don't want to deal with the ignorance of people saying, oh, well, you should be doing this by now, or why don't you know how to do this? And why do you need your dad's help with this? And why do you need a medical proxy? And so it's just, I don't want to deal with the ignorance of people. To me, like growing older is a blessing.
Yes.
I don't believe in growing older. I believe in getting better. So I'm like not the type of person that's like, oh my God, I'm getting old. No, I'm like, yes, another trip around the sun. I'm blessed. So I'm not like one of the like people who are like scared to get older.
I love how you said that. I don't think of it as getting older. I think of it as getting better, because I say the same
Yeah, you're
thing.
getting better.
Like I just get better every day. You know what I mean? Every single day. All right. But but we'll say that you went undiagnosed through your teens. We'll say
yes.
That. Okay.
Yes, most of my adult life.
Okay. So has that made, and I watched the interview you did with the young lady on Davies TV. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. You said that art was your escape always. Like you'd sit in the corner.
Has been. It still is. Yes.
You draw. Yes. Yeah. You know what? And that's an amazing thing, because while I know that was an escape for me too, sitting there. Funnily enough, I was looking through some old photo albums. I recently found like 5-10 old like pictures that I drew back in like 1992 type things. Like I just found them again. And I still, you know, my grandmom's kept them. She always kept them. I just found them recently, and I'm looking at my art like, oh, it was terrible.
No art is terrible.
No art, no, that's subjective. But I'm looking at like, okay, because this is like 90s influenced by like Marvel comics. Everybody had a ponytail for some reason. I couldn't get hands. I could not draw hands to save my life. It was crazy.
Well, that's something that is most difficult for me. Like usually like I can do something in like one shot really, really quickly, but hands are a challenge for me. I can do it, but it's a challenge for me. Everything else just comes so naturally and just flows. But when it's time to do like hands or toes, sometimes I'm just like, I'm going to put something here to cover it up so I don't have to draw them.
Fair. Yep. What? Listen, I also can't, for some reason, I can't draw symmetrical eyes. So somebody would always be wearing an eye patch or something. But,
well, that's cool, because like there are people with eye patches and they're like, oh my God, look, a character has an eye patch like me. So this is what that's saying. Representation.
Right. Now as a writer, I'm writing a supernatural thriller. Shout out to Veg and Dwayne. We've been doing Breed. You've authored a couple of children's books. I know your most recent one, you said one is out of print, and I know you said you have one that you were working on. I don't remember how long ago that was, but how many books do you have in print now?
Okay, so I've illustrated 17 books, including my book that I authored, which will be out this fall. And I've done 4 children's coloring books, one which will be re-released this fall around the same time as my book. The latest book that I illustrated is called My Melanin, and the author is Renita Pagan, and you can get it on Amazon. Just go to Amazon and type in My Melanin and it should pop right up.
We'll put a link in the description too. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
And the author is amazing. She has a new blog called Intentional AF, because I don't know if we're allowed to curse here. So
Oh, yeah, we're
but
definitely allowed to curse
definitely.
here. This is
Okay, so
this.
it's called Intentional as Fuck. So check out the book and check out her blog, Renita Pagan.
Okay, that's what's up. Listen, because you know what it is. I find it's to me it's an amazing thing, and I guess it shouldn't be so amazing to me that somebody with your malady, I don't know what to call it. I don't, words escape me at the moment, but somebody with that flourishes, and it shouldn't be such an amazing thing to people. That should be the norm.
Yeah.
Why isn't that
Oh,
the norm?
my earring fell out.
Oh no.
The norm, I think because there's always been a stigma around autism. The face for autism is little white boys. You don't hear about Black girls and women having autism. People who are autistic are nonverbal, have I don't have the greatest communication skills, but I do my best. But there's always been like a stigma and like a dark cloud over the autism community. So that's probably why you think that. It's not your fault.
I would, if I'm being honest, I would think that something like that comes from, and this is gonna be a little reaching here, but that's what we do in the Just to Be Frank podcast. We reach a little bit. That might be something that's attributed, like if you think about the Salem witch trials and even things back then, the puritanical idea that anybody different is demonic or witchcraft, or you know what I'm saying? I think those ideas still are prevalent even within our subconscious about things like that. That's what I genuinely think. I think it's a fear thing. I think people are just afraid of different, and I don't understand.
They are. They don't. And it's just like they're just like missing out, because you don't know like a true person just because of the challenges that they have, or just because they have a disorder. That's just a disorder. That's just a diagnosis. That's not who the person is. So
Right.
like me, I'm like, okay, it's your loss.
You got it. You know what I'm saying? And you see, and you're not, you also said you jet set between New York and Atlanta. Where are you at now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right
So
now I'm in New York. Yeah, I'm going
Okay.
to Atlanta next month.
Trying to get back home. Are you from Atlanta originally?
No, I'm originally from Westchester County, New York.
Oh, nice. Nice. What part of Westchester County? YO, baby.
No, close to White Plains.
Okay, like Mount Vernon, all that. Like, I'm from Queens, born and raised.
Okay.
I'm from Queens.
Okay.
I live in
The
Pennsylvania
Bronx
now.
is really close, like to
Yeah.
Westchester.
Yeah, I live in Pennsylvania now because, I like nature. I find that there's a really healing aspect of it. Especially coming from the city, there's a lot of trauma that just comes from living in a city, and people may not even realize that. I often wonder, and I don't know if you might know statistics on this or not. Is autism something that's more prevalent in the urban environment, or does it permeate as much in a rural environment? I wonder that.
Well, children of color, Blacks and Latinas, they are diagnosed on average 3 years later than people from the suburbs, and white people maybe with more advantages, higher economic status. So it's hard for me to answer that question because of that reason.
No, but I understand, because when you think about that, that's basically redlining tactics, and it still approaches into the hospitals, schools. It permeates all of those things. School could not have been fun for you.
Oh, fuck. No, it was not. It was a freaking nightmare. Like, I hated it. I didn't have a lot of friends. I was bullied, but I cared, but then I kind of didn't care. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But it was like, I knew I was being treated differently, and I undiagnosed at the time, but I didn't know why. people would speak to me, I would not speak back.
Mhm.
Sometimes I would not do my schoolwork because I wanted to draw a picture.
Mhm.
And my teachers, they never, like, I was never in like a special education class.
Right.
My teachers never like, never really, I'm sure that they knew something was different, but I'm Black. Most of my teachers were white. If I was white, they probably would have been like, oh, well, let's get her tested and see if there's
Mhm.
something else going on. But when you're Black, you don't have those advantages, and you don't have the system on your side.
Hmm. That's a sad
If
thing too.
like little white Billy, they would have been like, let's get him tested, but no, not little Black
Not,
Ayanna.
not little Ayanna Davis. And you want to
No.
hear something really funny? You are literally the second Ayanna Davis I know in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, you are. When I was a kid, I had a young lady. Her name was Ayanna Davis, and that was Reverend Davis's daughter. We used to go to camp together. She is last time I spoke to her, she's a tremendous artist. So she's a musical artist. So very
I didn't
avant-garde,
know I
very
didn't know
amazing.
anybody with my name growing up. And you know how like there's people when you growing up and you can't even get a fucking keychain with your name on it. Like that was me. Like I didn't know anybody with my name until like maybe my late teens. And then but my nickname is Yanni, so that's what most people call me. So I know a few people named Yanni, but as far as Ayanna, I didn't know anybody with that name. But then when I did meet people, I was just like, she copied my name. Even if they were older than me, I'd be like, she copied my name.
That's funny. And sadly, my name is Frank. So everybody knows somebody named Frank, universal law. And everybody on TV or movies named Frank, they are always complete pieces of shit. So
Oh, but do you want to know who named me?
Sure.
What's his name? Muhammad Aziz. And I don't want to get the story wrong. So okay, he was in prison for killing Malcolm X, even though he was innocent. So my dad was in touch with him. My dad visited him in prison. And he said, oh, you're about to have a baby. If you have a baby girl, name her Ayanna because it means a beautiful flower. And that's where I got my name.
You know what? Is your dad sitting right there?
Yeah.
Tell your pops I said what's up and thank you.
He said what's up and thank you.
Word up. Word up. I appreciate that because you know what? That's an amazing thing. You know what I'm saying? That means you have to what I would consider a lineage of royalty to a degree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because in our community, you know, we revere the ideas, maybe not so much the man as much, but we definitely revere the ideas and the ideology. Do you feel like you have an obligation to help the Black community and kind of bring light onto these things?
Pertaining to
Like just trying race and how people with autism are treated and things of that nature. Like
absolutely, because like first and foremost, I have an obligation to myself because
yes,
I had to learn about myself and learn how to teach people how to treat me because for a long time I tolerated so much that I shouldn't have, emotional abuse, verbal abuse from people who were supposed to love me. And when I learned about myself and I learned what was wrong, I always say that there's nothing wrong with me though. You have to teach people how to treat you. So like when I learned that I was autistic, it helped me understand myself better, and that helped me understand how to teach people how to treat me. And if they couldn't do it, then sometimes you just have to let people go. But as far as like my obligation to like the Black community, I feel like we all have an obligation because I mean, look at the way we were brought to this country and look at the way that things are still going. And slavery was not that long ago. People were like, oh, that was so long ago. Y'all still talking about that. It was not that long ago. Can you count? It was not that long ago.
3 people. So people live to be 100. So if people live to be 100, let's do basic math. If people can live to be 100, that means 3 people ago, slavery was a thing.
Exactly. So it's just like I feel like we all have an obligation. Even if that's just educating yourself and learning as much as you can learn, maybe correcting somebody if they say something that's incorrect. I know sometimes I do have to correct people about their misconceptions about autism. And I grew up in the movement of the equal rights for African Americans. My dad had an organization. It was Black Lives Matter before there was Black Lives Matter.
Right.
So from 6 years old, I was a part of protests, peaceful protests, of course. I was protected though. You know, nothing was going to happen to me. Trust me, there was a lot of security
No.
around.
We got to
So
protect the
like
beautiful
I
flower
always
now.
like, yeah, like the whole Black Lives movement thing was not new to me because I grew up in the movement. So like it's always been there, and it kind of comes naturally to me. Like nobody has to tell me, oh, go and post something because somebody just got killed. Like
Mhm.
I already know to do that because of the way I grew up.
Do you have, because I can't lie, I personally am fully of the opinion that Black Lives Matter, but I do not support the organization of Black Lives Matter.
I believe you should support the cause.
Yeah, you should support the cause, but the
Yeah.
organization itself, I don't know if I agree with their ideology and their the way they put things out, the way they do things, the way they're actually acting as opposed to what they're saying. You know, I
Yes.
find, and unfortunately, I find that in a lot of these movements, the nefarious nature of what people are doing behind the scenes always rears its head. I don't understand that. I don't understand.
Well, the sad part is like some people, like when you should just be doing something for the people, a lot of people do it like for the glory, or like, you know, they want to be like, I want to be like Al Sharpton, I want to be famous. Al Sharpton, who obviously he's a family friend of ours.
I know Al Sharpton.
Yeah,
I
he
know.
people want to be like him, and you know, with all the recognition and the media attention, and like and it shouldn't be about that. It should be about you setting out to, you know, fight for the cause that you chose to fight for. It's not about the attention, it's not about the media, it's about making change and educating people.
Right. Right. And the first thing we got to do, like you said, is educate yourself. Because if you
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
know,
Like me, like, and with being autistic, I had to learn about I had to learn a lot about myself because like I knew that I was different, and I knew that there was a lot of things that I couldn't understand, and I had communication issues and issues with like eye contact with people in the eye. I do not like, if I don't know somebody, don't fucking touch me. But at the same time, like the people that I love, I'm a hugger and I'm gonna be in your face all day. So like um, but for a long time, it was like when you don't know about yourself and you don't understand yourself, that can cause a lot of self-hate. So when I learned that I was autistic, it helped me learn about myself and helped me understand myself. So then I began to love myself and appreciate myself and just know that it's okay to be different. It's actually amazing.
your parents didn't go out of their way to treat you different, I'm guessing.
No, they let me do me. Like if I wanted to sit in the corner and draw all day, they let me do it because I was doing art shows by 7 years old. So it paid off. But you know, and if I wanted to sit in the corner and draw all day, that's what I did. If somebody spoke to me and I didn't speak back, you know, they didn't force me to speak to anybody. Like my grandma was the funniest because she would tell people, leave her alone. Like, so it's just like they let me be free. I did plays when I was a child. I was a dance teacher. I was a part of a theater company. So I've always like um, released my energy and expressed myself through art. So like art literally saved my life because I don't know how to express myself any other way.
Have you ever thought about martial arts?
Oh, we did that training when we were young, when
Okay,
my
all
dad had
right.
his
That's what I'm
organization.
talking
Like a
about.
guy actually confronted him because like he witnessed me almost break this little girl's wrist. And he like confronted my dad about the situation. And I'm just like, well, one, I didn't break her wrist. Two, mind your business. I am not your child. But yeah, like we went through those trainings like very young, me and my brother.
Do you still practice?
No.
For shame.
I mean, like if I need to defend myself, I'm gonna defend myself, but I don't actively practice because some days, honestly, it's very hard for me to move. I have a few physical disorders, and I don't really like to say illnesses,
right?
And I don't like to say that I'm sick because I don't like to feed that to my subconscious mind.
No, you're right.
Some days it is hard for me to move, and some days I do need to stay in bed all day. But even though I should, sometimes I don't unless I physically can't. But I don't do the martial arts anymore.
Okay. And now I'm gonna ask you a weird question, and I don't want your dad to get mad at me. You smoking that weed, girl?
I don't like the way it makes me feel. Like when I was younger, like I did a few times just because I was like trying to fit in. I was always trying to fit in, but
right.
I didn't like the way it made me feel. And like no, I just didn't like it. It's just not for me.
I don't blame. No, listen, that's what I say.
And actually, I'm very honest with my dad. Like,
okay,
he's very understanding. He's very open. We know he wasn't innocent when he was a teenager and a child, so he don't judge me. So like, him and my mama, they was young parents, so he does not judge me. I can go talk to him about anything. But no, that just wasn't my thing. I don't do drugs and I don't drink.
I'm not mad at you.
Well, I'm on drugs, but they're prescribed by my doctor. Like,
I take what? I find for me, I would say I would because I'm a proponent of cannabis and I'm a large proponent of psychedelics. I think that those things actually can help us tremendously if we learned more about them and we're able to learn more about them instead of them being vilified.
I don't judge anybody. You want to smoke, you can smoke. It's a lot of people have approached me because I have seizures, and they're like, oh, well, maybe this can help you, or you can get a prescription. Because my primary doctor's office, they actually have a sign like that you get like medical marijuana. That's just a road I haven't taken yet. Not saying I'll never take it, but I just haven't taken that path yet. There's a lot going on right now with my physical health, so we're just trying to sort everything out.
A lot of things I know CBD has helped a lot of people. It helps ease inflammation.
Yeah, I heard that. Whenever like I hashtag seizures on Instagram, I get a lot of like, some of them are bots, but some of them are actual real people who sell it and have a company. And I go and I look at it, but then it's like with me, having autism, I'm not good with like change, and I'm not good with trying new things. So yes, I'll look at it and I'll read about it, but I'll probably just like not give it another thought and just move on.
Okay, I definitely understand that. And like I said, like you say, it's not for everybody. What are some of the other things you enjoy doing? I love cooking. I love going outside taking pictures. You know what I'm saying? I love going to the gym, working out. I like reading comic books.
I love going to bookstores. I like when I'm able to see my friends. I'm not able to see them that much right now, but I love being able to see my friends. I have a new nephew. I love being in his face. I know he's sick of me. Obviously, I love the arts and I love to draw. I do art therapy every day, which I actually enjoy. I don't really like the movies, but I like because like people don't understand. And I believe I said this before, but when I do watch movies or TV, I have to watch it a few times because of my sensory issues. Like the first time I watch it, I'm watching it for sight. The second time I'm watching it for sound. So like, imagine having to buy 3 movie tickets just to freaking enjoy a movie. So like, I don't go to the movies that often.
So the pandemic must have been great for you with all the streaming services, but you could just sit there and be like,
I've been had all the streaming services. I just changed all my passwords though, because I was just being a little bit too generous, but I have like all the streaming services.
I do too,
No, because I gave one person my Netflix password, and then like their whole fucking family had it. I was like, oh no, y'all don't got $12 a month? All right, so I'm gonna change my password.
Yeah, nah, chill, man. We ain't doing all that. Nah. We don't play them games. Netflix is important. I need that. You know? You're not gonna have 40 people on my profile now. I'm like, chill.
Yeah, and then somebody like I didn't have my profile locked, and they like watched one of my shows and lost my place, and I didn't know where I left. I was pissed. I was like, "That's it. Nobody else. You get your own subscription."
Sacrilege. That's when the martial arts training comes in and you box them in the throat for that. Like that's a viable offense. Like we can fight for that.
I am not a violent person.
Well, that's good. That's why now you know people like me, because I am.
But like everybody says I hit hard.
I believe that. Yeah, like
my dad says like I hit really hard. Like sometimes I'm only playing with him and I'll like punch him in his arm and he'd be like, "Stop punching me, you hit too damn hard."
Well, I ain't gonna lie, you don't strike me as somebody who's a weak individual. You'd really have this wonderful spirit. You strike me as somebody who is indeed very strong. You know what I'm saying? In all aspects. So I applaud that. That's an amazing thing. You know what I mean? And especially nowadays, in this unfortunate time we live in, that inner strength is going to serve you very well, I think.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Because unfortunately, like, there are shit people out here.
Yes, you know I know, trust me.
There really are. There are shit humans out here. And, one thing I try and do on my show is push back against that type of thinking, against ignorance, against, staying in one lane, but I also push back against the social justice warriors because I find them to be very tedious too. Do you find that they can be annoying to you as well? I don't know. I'm taking a poll, really.
I don't like when, because a lot of times, like when things happen, I'll draw a picture and that'll be like my tribute to like whatever like Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. I drew pictures of them and that was my tribute to them because that's how I know how to express myself. Right. And I believe on one of the posts I spelled somebody's name wrong because sometimes that happens with me. I do have cognitive issues. And somebody came on my post like at me all sideways and I'm like, is it really that serious? I fixed it and I corrected it because I wanted to be respectful, but there's a way that you can do something. And my name is Phenomenally Autistic, so you should know that everything is not going to be perfect. But like, yeah, the people who did like they were definitely doing too much. I don't know if it was a male or a female because I think the profile picture was like, it was something real bogus, but people do, they can be very disrespectful when it's not necessary. I mean, for me, disrespect is never necessary.
No.
Which is why like I have such a big issue with like autistic meltdowns because like if somebody doesn't know that you're having a meltdown, you will come off as just being disrespectful or just cursing somebody out. And like I think people should know that like they're not rational and you can't control them and they do not reflect the person who is having them. So like that is like the biggest thing that bothers me about being autistic are the meltdowns. Like the shutdowns I can do.
What can you explain what a meltdown is for those who don't know? Like,
sure. Like it's like it looks like a tantrum, so that's how I'll describe it, but it's absolutely not a tantrum. Right. It is when your senses are overloaded and you just cannot handle a situation anymore. But it might happen, say I had one today, it might be from something that happened 2 weeks ago that the energy was just never released and then it just came out at the wrong time at the wrong person. So yeah, it might look like a tantrum, it might look like somebody's cursing you out. Some people when they have meltdowns, they do cause harm to themselves. So the best way to describe it for people who are unfamiliar is it looks like a tantrum or it looks like I'm cursing you the fuck out. So that's the best way that I can describe it.
You want to know something funny? What it sounds like to me, and this is going to get a little bit more metaphysical than we're used to here on this show, but it sounds like you not only have autism, but you're also an empath. Like you have
I'm very empathetic. And it makes me angry because things that people say is that autistic people have no empathy, and I'm very empathetic, like to the point where if somebody that I love is hurting, if they tell me or they don't tell me, I know, and I'll feel those emotions and I'll be drained and I'll be fatigued. So like, yes, I am very empathetic. I'm very spiritually intelligent. So yeah, empathy is me.
Now, now, of course, I know that back in the days, and I don't know how true this is now, but back in the days, somebody would have said, and this is unfortunately a very ignorant statement to me, but they've said something along the lines of, "Oh, you're not autistic, you just need Jesus. Go to church." Did you
Yeah,
ever?
they say that about a lot of things, and it's sad because it's just like, okay, why are you telling me I'm not autistic? Go to church when God created me. So why am I going to church and He created me? He created me because He wanted me this way. So like things like that really make me mad. And even like when people be like, because I'm an ally for the gay people, trans, everybody. I love everybody. And so I hate when they be like, pray the gay away. No, leave people alone. This is how they were born. You cannot pray everything away. There's nothing wrong with church. I would never disrespect God. I love God. I love my Bible. But you can't do stuff like that to people. It's disrespectful. People end up killing themselves over things like that.
Yeah. Now, I can't lie. I personally, you know what's funny? I'm not religious in any way at all. Like I don't find there's never been a time where I found comfort or anything in the Bible or church or anything like that. But I do know for a fact there's a God. And I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? What I always find is that love is the most powerful aspect. I think that's the only thing I genuinely believe in is love. That's I think that's fair. It's a little harder nowadays because not everybody wants.
Well, everybody's different because I'm more spiritual than religious. Like you know, I'm into meditation, I'm into crystals. So, oh, you're a witch. No, I'm not. I'm into crystals, meditation, sage, and you know, getting rid of all the bad energy. So
all that good stuff.
I'm more spiritual than like my dad jokes around that I'm a witch because I told him one day, I was like, oh, what are you trying you're trying to manifest something. If you're manifesting with crystals, hold the crystal in your left hand because that's the receiving side of your body. And he's like, how do you know that you're a witch? So like
your pop sound man cool, man.
Yeah, he really is. Like sometimes people be like, oh my God, like people always think that him and my brother are brothers because like they really do look like brothers.
Yeah.
And I always joke around with him. I was like, you having babies in high school. Now look at your son. Y'all look like brothers because they actually went somewhere together and people thought they were brothers. And people always thought that like me and my mama were sisters because I really look like exactly like her. She passed away, so sometimes it's like weird to see like her friends because they're staring at me because I look so much like her. But you know, I understand. Like it sometimes it makes me uncomfortable, but I understand. You know, they lost her too, so I just try to be the comfort that they need.
Grief is a very interesting thing. It just marked 11 years on the 15th that my mom passed, and you know that's her right there. And and I look just like her too. That's the funny thing. And so I understand. I remember when she used to work at this place called OTB. Your pops might know OTB. But every time I'd go in there, they'd be, hey, little Susie, a little weird. Calm down, relax.
Yeah, that's like when I post on social media. Like my aunts will be like, "Look at you, looking like my sister," because like my mama had a twin and they passed away on the same day. So like people were just like always like, oh my God, you look. Yeah, they did. And I'm not laughing at that situation because we're all still traumatized from it. But that's the reaction we always get when I tell them, yeah, they passed away on the same day. Twins, to me, like they had a very strong emotional, spiritual twin bond. Like an example, when my mom's twin, she had to get her leg amputated. She was a very young amputee. But my mama's leg was hurting when my aunt was getting her leg amputated. And then when my aunt had to get open heart surgery, my mom was throwing up the whole time during the surgery. So they had a very strong spiritual bond. And I just like, for me, I just felt like it would be selfish of me. Like, yes, we're all still grieving, but it would be selfish for us to think that one of them can live in the world without the other. Like, and they actually died in the order that they like
were birthed.
Yes.
Wow. All right. So I don't know what to call that. I am deeply sorry for your loss. My condolences.
Thank you.
But I don't know what to call that. That's
It's okay.
amazing.
And a lot of people don't like, I think like as much as it hurts and as traumatized as everybody still is, it's fucking beautiful because that is a strong spiritual tie to have to someone,
They came in together. They went
came
out
in together
together
and they went out together. Yeah.
And I'm one of those people that firmly believes that, that energy, science teaches us that energy never dies. So
yeah, and they weren't even identical. They were fraternal. Like my mama, she was like she was a little lighter than me, and they were the same complexion, but my mama had brown eyes and her twin had green eyes. My mama had dark brown hair and her twin had like lighter brown hair. And my mama was 5'5" and her twin was 4'11", so they were fraternal. Like
they was on it.
Just looked like but everybody knew they were twins because it's always like, oh, look at the twins, and they were always together. So like they were even fraternal. So when people say that fraternal twins don't have that same spiritual bond as they do.
I also know about ISIS twins, which are basically they're born in the same year. Not so like my niece and nephew, they're ISIS twins because one was born in January, the other was born in November of '88. So
twins run all through my family. My grandmother had 3 sets of twins, and then 2 of my aunts had twins. So twins run everywhere. That's why like I hate when like people be like, you don't got no kids yet. And I'm like, first of all, I have medical issues, so mind your business. But second of all, when I do have a baby, I'm probably gonna have like twins or triplets because look at my family. So
right.
Yeah.
and you're right, because what's going on in your nether regions is nobody's business. Like, mind your fucking business.
Yeah, like why are you so fascinated with my uterus? I don't
Word
understand.
up.
But yeah, twins run throughout my whole family.
Oh man, that's amazing actually. And I'm always, you know why? Because in my heart, I don't have any children yet either, and I'm pushing 40, so I'm always looked at as very weird.
That's okay. You got plenty of time.
That's what I said. I just don't want to be the old dad. Like I still want to be able to play, with my kids.
You're only going to be old if you say you're old.
That's fair.
You're only going to be old if you feel that you're old.
Oh no, I go to the gym for that.
Okay, well then you're not going to be the old dad.
Nah, I ain't gonna be the old dad. But I want to be able to raise them and be around them. I want to be able to do what your dad did for you and just, keep them protected and make them intelligent and bring them into the world and make them, a part of it as opposed to having to fight through it. Do you want kids?
I do.
Okay. Do you have any, and I guess this is a stupid question, but I guess just going off of your demeanor, I pretty much know the answer, but do you have any fear that they too will be autistic or have to go through what you went through?
I don't have a fear. Because if they do have autism, it's not the end of the world. I believe that I'm flourishing and I'm living my life. I'm doing everything that I want to do. And I believe that if, when I have kids and if they have autism, that's fine. It's not the end of the world. They can still live their life.
You are an amazing young lady, Ayanna.
Thank
I want you to know that. Like you are very amazing, and I'm glad to know you. I'm glad to have met you because the truth is, this world definitely needs more people like you in it. You know what I'm saying? We definitely need more positivity and much more grace and love and everything that you've got going on in that gooey center you got.
Thank you.
I love it, man. Like, so you said your newest book is indeed available or will be available this fall.
This fall, along with the coloring book. But if you need something right now, go get My Melanin by Renita Pagan.
My Melanin.
And also, like, I post a lot of my artwork on my Instagram. There's a whole highlight, like, in my stories, like, full of illustrations that I've done. I post most of my illustrations. Some of them are made personally for people and privately for people, so I was always about to ask those.
You, do you do commissions? Because I'll throw some art on the wall now.
Yeah, I do.
All right, I'm gonna have to reach out and get one of those because I like exposing people's art to the world. You know what I'm saying? Because Earth without art is just
It's nothing. Art is life.
Exactly. It's just it's absolutely nothing. There's no joy in it. What do you enjoy most? What form of art do you enjoy most? Just drawing?
I'm really like right now I'm really into digital art. I hand paint clothes and do customs. I really enjoy doing that because like the parents will send me like pictures of like the kids wearing the stuff and they're like, oh my God, when she opened it, she was like, this looks like me. And so that's why I enjoy doing that. But like right now I'm just like really into digital art.
You know what? What I would love is for there to be some like I remember when we, and your dad will remember this too, I'm guessing, there was a movie called Rain Man. I'm sure he's.
Oh my God. No, I saw that and this is irritating because people like when they think of autism, I'm like, well, you know, I'm not fucking Rain Man. Like it's a spectrum. And I think people forget that. Do you know how big a spectrum is? And do you also know that no two cases of autism are the same? Like, yeah, I've seen Rain Man. I saw it a long time ago. I was very young. But I did see it and I remember it. A few shows that I do watch, like people assume because I'm autistic that I'm gonna like every single show about autism or with autistic characters. That is not true. I do not like Atypical. It's very cringy.
Is that what that's about?
It's about an autistic teenager who got a girlfriend. I wasn't even paying attention to half of it, but I did not like it. My favorite shows with autistic characters are The Good Doctor and Claus, because on The Good Doctor and Claus, both of the actors portray the character with autism in a way that is not mocking. And I've seen people portray autistic people in a mocking way, and they just do it so beautifully. They got the details down packed, like Dean from Claus. I freaking love Dean. He draws all day. That is me some days.
Yes. And it's funny because I remember when he was just a cat in a wheelchair on this prison drama called Oz. You know what I'm saying? And to see him grow into that level of an actor, he is an amazing dude. I forgot about that. I really forgot about that, man. But now you do digital art, which means that, hey, you could design a video game character. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be, especially nowadays, you're already planning that. You already got that in the plans, don't you?
I like to try a lot of new things. I don't limit myself, like, and I don't allow others to limit me either. So like, I might not do it next week or in a year or two, but if something like comes on my heart and I feel like it's something that I may have a passion for, I'm going to try to do it. Well, not try, I am going to do it to the best of my ability.
You know, it's funny. I love what you just said there, because I tell people all the time, like when they tell kids, like one of my biggest pet peeves always growing up was, oh, you can't read that. That's too much for you. Well, who says? Just like, why are you putting your limitations on me? You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. You know what I mean?
I don't let people limit me. I do not let people limit me because God does not limit me. So who are you to limit me? You don't know what I can do. You don't know me. I can probably do more than you, and you're neurotypical. And like, I hate saying that because they're like, oh, she look at her, she's so arrogant. I'm not arrogant. I'm probably the most humble person you know.
Neurotypical.
Yes, non-autistic people.
I like that phrase. I really like that word. I like that. I'm a fan of verbiage. I'm a fan of words. And
another word for people who are autistic or have ADHD is neurodivergent.
Neurodivergent. Now, I see, I'm one of those people that thinks ADHD is like, all right, that's just a way to sell pills. Like, but you did say that you're on medication. I didn't realize that there was a medication for this.
There's actually no cure for autism. They treat symptoms. Like I take Ritalin, which is usually given to people with ADHD. I do not have ADHD. If I do, it's undiagnosed. But I take Ritalin, and it was given to me to help me focus. So like there is no cure for autism. So they're just basically treating your symptoms. So Yeah, I take Ritalin. I didn't know that like the white kids was like taking Ritalin, getting high off of it and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that. Like, you know, I'm not like a crackhead or anything, but they because I lost a whole bottle somehow one time, and like they were like, we can't give you no more until I was like, well, I need this to focus, and like
Right.
I didn't know
It's a
that
controlled
people.
substance.
Yeah,
And it's
I didn't know
and
that.
you know what it does? It's what it does make you focus, but what the myth about it is that if you take Ritalin, your grades and all that are going to get better. No, basically what happens is if you were a mediocre student, you're still going to be a mediocre student. You're just going to do much, you're going to be much more focused at being a mediocre student. You know what
For
I'm
me,
saying?
it helps me get through my day better.
Right.
Like along with meditation though, like I have to give meditation as much credit as I give the Ritalin, if not
Nice.
more. Like if I do not start my day off with meditation, oh, like I just feel bad for everybody.
Are you
Like
an
I can't
early
function.
riser? Like 4 in the morning?
I am. I go to bed at like 1, and then sometimes I don't even go to bed because like my brain is always moving. And then most people who are autistic, they have insomnia. So I'm like, I'm up, I'm either reading or drawing or just um watching something on Hulu that I've seen a million times already. So, but I do wake up very early because I do want to get in a good meditation every day, especially on like during times when I need it a little bit more.
Mhm.
I do want to write in my gratitude journal. That is an absolute must for me. I have
Yes.
to do that every day. I have to make sure it is known how grateful I am for everything that I have and do and that I'm still here. So like I have to give meditation and my gratitude journal just as much credit as I give the medications that are prescribed by my doctor.
Well, then I would tell everybody get yourself a gratitude journal, start doing that,
Yes.
get some
Yes.
meditation. I can't lie, I find it difficult to meditate, but because I still have this preconceived notion that there's a specific way you have to do it.
No. All you
You
gotta do
know,
is go on YouTube and find like a guided meditation. They have ones that are 5 minutes, they have ones that are a half hour, and just find one that works for you. You do
Mhm.
not have to meditate for 45 minutes. You can meditate for 5 minutes. Trust me, it helps because sometimes days I have early doctor's appointments or just things that I need to do and I can't like dedicate 45 minutes to a meditation, but a 5 minute meditation will absolutely help you.
Hmm. You know what? I like listening to harmonic resonance on YouTube, which is like it stimulates the pineal gland. I don't know if you ever have met. Do you use fluoride toothpaste?
No.
Okay, good girl. So you know what dimethyltryptamine is, or DMT. It's produced by the pineal gland. I think it's the
I use Tom's toothpaste, you know, the
yeah,
natural,
yeah. I got
because
I
like
use I know Tom's. I use Hello
yeah,
too.
I'm like allergic to everything. So I use Tom's.
Yeah, I love that stuff. I love it. And I like the Hello brand. But once I realized once I stopped using fluoride, how much more of my brain's capacity was being utilized. Like how, the myth of us only using 10% of our brain, that's a myth. That was like a quote taken out of context. The truth is, we don't know how much of our mind we actually use. There's no way to map that. But
Yeah, and that's also the problem because if you are told that you're only using 10% of your brain, that is what you're going to do. You have to take that limit off that was put on you so you can utilize as much as your brain as possible. I know for a fact I'm using more than 10% of my brain because how is it possible to be doing all these creative things and then intellectual things with only 10% of your brain? That is not possible. So people have to let that go and not let people put that in their mind that they're only using 10% of their brain.
Facts. Well, you know what, Ayanna, I appreciate you so much for joining me. I'll leave you with this question. What if you found out that the cure for autism was indeed psychedelic drugs?
Hmm. I wouldn't take it. I'm okay with being me.
I ain't mad at you. I love that answer. Ayanna Davis, yo, thank you so much for coming on the Just to Be Frank podcast. Shout
Thanks
out
for
your
having
social
me.
media. It's going to be up on the screen anyway, but tell everybody where they can find you.
Okay, you can find me on TikTok, Phenomenally Autistic, Twitter, Phenomenally Autistic, Instagram, Phenomenally Autistic, YouTube, Phenomenally Autistic. So just Phenomenally Autistic everywhere.
Everywhere. Listen, thank you ever so much. I do appreciate you. Again, tell your pops I said peace and thank you too, man.
He said peace and thank you.
Word up.
He said peace.
Word up. Now, this is, I, of course, am Frank Starfire from my friend Ayanna Davis. This has been the Just to Be Frank podcast. I want to thank y'all so much for joining me. Y'all have a blessed one. One love. Abracadabra. Peace. Wrong mouse.